Hey, hello, I'm Julie Jo. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I am so glad that you're here. If you're not new here, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at some of the fallout going on around Modere closing down. If you aren't aware of what's going on or you don't know details, I did a live on it, I think maybe Sunday night. Anyway, it's my most recent live at this point. Go take a watch. I think it has a lot of information that'll probably be helpful. However, you don't necessarily need that to understand what's going on in this video, but I recommend it after you watch this. Don't forget, if you would like to support the channel for free, you can simply hit the subscribe button and the like button. All right, let's get started.
I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin. Cause we're still sleeping in my head. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin. Cause we're still sleeping in my head.
Today is a good day because John Melton is being exposed. Not that he hasn't been for a long time being exposed. Not only that, but she shared with us voice messages. Well, one voice message in particular from him, and he actually says the wildest shit. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. Let me give you some context about what's going on. The day before Modere shuts down, John Melton does a video called, "If I had to start all over building my following and my business, here's what I would do." For the record, Modere did it out of nowhere. They gave people like 2 hours to get anything they needed off of the website. There's no more orders. No one's getting paid. Nothing. It seems like there's something going on legally because everything's frozen. They don't have access to anything, allegedly. And so John Melton does this video. We watch it on live and we decide, we think he knew. All right. We think that John Melton knew it was going to shut down, even though he acts like he didn't. He implies he did not know. If you want to know more about that, it's in that live. We look at all the information on that. A day later, literally from what I see, his post saying "in shock," which is the day that Modere is closing down, was 4 days ago. And his post saying, "I think it's time to start our own company," was 4 days ago. A day later, he says he wants to start his own company. A day after that, he says it's all coming together very quickly. So he's already putting a company together very quickly, apparently. How? How does someone who was committed to this company act like they don't know what happened or what was going on and it shuts down 2 days later, have the company coming together very quickly? That's a really good question. That's why the situation in general has made us think, yeah, he knew. He knew and he's been preparing. But nobody else got that. Nobody else that we know of was able to prepare like this. He then made a post, but before that, Amber DeLoof made a post. She posted a selfie like this and she said, "Mark's safe from launching my own MLM in under 24 hours and pretending it all just came together so fast." It has 811 likes and Megan Deschart was one of them, okay? Amber DeLoof, now we're going to talk a second before we get into what the big post that John Melton ended up making. So he's like, everything's coming together fast. Amber posts, "No need to send me screenshots. I know Modere closed and I'm massively heartbroken for my friends who stayed and battled to the end. And then we're given zero heads up that everything they built was going to be ripped away." Amber DeLoof, I think, was in Modere. I'm not sure what she's doing now because that doesn't matter really to what's going on. Every one of you social marketers deserved better than this. And I'll say this. Do your research and be real fucking careful which leaders you choose to follow to the next spot, because some of them knew and didn't say a damn word to you to protect their own income and are pretending to be shocked. AKA John Melton, in my opinion. Some of them posted about the closing without even calling their biggest leaders. That should tell you everything you need to know. You deserved better. We all deserved better than what we got these last few years. Grieve it, but know you are not done and can build something spectacular somewhere else. I know because I've done it and so can you. So she posted that and then she posted this next one 2 days ago. So a couple days after she posted the one I just read. And those were done the same day as John Melton's whole like, "Hey, we're starting a new MLM. Blah, blah, blah." I hope this isn't so confusing. Anyway, a lot happened the day after Modere closed, including John Melton saying he's going to start an MLM, that it's coming together very quickly, and Amber DeLoof saying what I just read. 2 days later, this is what she says. It's a post of her doing the peace sign and saying, "Mark's safe from launching my own MLM in under 24 hours and pretending it all just came together so fast," and then she put a red flag. Then, John Melton, that same day, posted this. So I keep getting messages of people asking how we could already have a company ready if we didn't know we were getting shut down on Friday. To be clear, we decided on Saturday that we were going to launch some of our very own, and personally, I think it will be the most epic thing we've ever done, mostly because of the people we are launching with. With that being said, we don't even have a company name yet, so these accusations that we knew this was coming are completely illogical. To start, John, maybe proofread, and second, they're not. They're not illogical. It is completely logical, and in fact, it makes more sense that you knew than did not know. So stop gaslighting people, you wacko. He continues, obviously the people that actually know me know that's not true. We had thousands of people not get paid on Friday, and for some of those people, that was what they used to pay their bills. So instead of making outlandish accusations or assuming you have any clue of what we're going through, how about you have a little empathy? No, not for you. And listen, if you have empathy for John Melton, you won't in a second after you hear this voice message, okay? He said, this is the second time in the last 10 years I've had a company shut down, and at this point, I just want to do something with some of my closest friends. People we trust and admire that we worked with for the last 10 years. Luckily, some of these people have very deep pockets and already formulate and manufacture their own products and ship products all over the world. We will share more details later, but please don't accuse people of something until you have all the facts. Right, okay. Or we can use context clues to say, we think that you knew. It's just not that hard to come to that conclusion, John, okay? Get it together. We were all devastated by the news on Friday, but of course, we knew that this could happen one day, which is why we've always taught people to build their own personal brand, treat people well, and develop skills. If anything we've learned over the last 2 years, and some of these companies cannot be trusted. Okay. Proofreading, especially when they were owned by people we do not know or have a relationship with. I trust the people I'm going into business with this time around, but don't get it twisted. This will be the most challenging thing we've done by far. Apparently, Modere filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and even the employees had no idea this was coming. Literally, Modere just had their annual convention in India last week, and we were all headed to Greece in June for a European escape trip. And we had a big leadership event coming up in July in Utah. Anyway, people will believe what they want, but I just wanted to clear the air because I already know I'm going to get attacked and bashed, but I'll take that as a compliment. You shouldn't. That's really shitty. The reason we think we can get this done fairly quickly is because another one of my friends launches companies all over the world and has the software, product vendors, international footprint, customer service, and infrastructure to launch a company since he's done it numerous times. Frankly, I still don't believe you're able to get it done this quickly. And the fact that you're just happily moving on after, quote unquote, being in shock, nah, that's bullshit. Of course, we'll have more details soon, but we're not trying to build the biggest network marketing company or fastest growing, blah, blah, blah. We just want to do it right and take care of our teams. Those of you that have sent me messages and have offered your support, I do really appreciate it. And I'm sorry I haven't been so responsive as I typically am. You can imagine my inboxes. Mad respect for all of you. Too busy to check my typos, so don't tell the grammar police. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Just had to get that off my chest. Okay, yeah, you didn't check your typos, but it is whatever. This brings us to the video. Well, it's really stories put together on her Facebook. Several stories that she created, including John's voice message to her. So we're gonna watch that and see what's going down. Okay, and I have watched it because I had to record it. I didn't pay close attention, so I don't remember every single thing, but I do remember his voice message. Wow. I mean, the fact that he thought this wouldn't get exposed is kind of wild to me, but whatever. It's John Melton. He thinks very highly of himself. All right, so let's watch.
Okay. Next voice clip that I'm going to share, I got permission from the person he sent it to, even though I didn't need that because he also sent this voice clip, forwarded it to me so that I could hear how he handled the situation. I told you the only time I ever asked for help was when there was some kind of drama. And so in this situation, there were people complaining because the leader had left and she was messaging other humans at Modere. Even if they were happy, she was messaging them. And look, we live in this world in MLM where it's they're going to poach people. And that's just, I feel like sometimes it doesn't matter.
So the situation is, apparently he sent this to someone who was trying to poach people from Modere. I don't know the exact situation, so she's going to explain it and we'll go from there.
You can't poach people. People can make decisions for themselves, and if they're truly happy, what someone shares with them isn't going to poach them.
Amber, that's a shit take. I'm not biased. If Amber's sharing some info that I want to hear, I want to hear. But if she says something like that, that is a shit take. If you don't believe that people can be poached, essentially manipulated, into something else, how do you function on a daily basis? I feel like if you don't believe people can be manipulated, you also don't believe in the concept of emotional and mental abuse. That's such a weird take. Like, no, you can share lies with them. You can try and act a certain way, lie to them, be a really good liar, or like be very persuasive or very deceptive and get people to think one way when that's not the truth. That's what happens in MLM. Y'all are taught to do that. So yes, there is such thing as poaching. I cannot.
If it does, then they're people. They get to make decisions. That has always been one of the weirdest things I've ever heard, is like that whole poaching mentality as though people don't have brains.
Poach definition from Merriam-Webster says to encroach upon, especially for the purpose of taking something. What you, Amber, and everyone do in multi-level marketing, especially when you move companies. And the idea that you say people have brains as though people can't be manipulated into doing something, again, falls on what I just said about mental, emotional, and at this point even physical abuse, like that you don't even really, like what I'm getting is if you say that has to line up with the idea that you also don't believe that people can be abused. And if they are, that's like their choice, which is a super weird, super shit fucking take. And you know what's even weirder is she'll probably be like, no, of course I believe that those things are terrible. I'm like, well, then you can't believe both. You can't believe that like people can't be poached into something, that they have the brain and whatever to make decisions, and also believe that mental, emotional, and physical ABUSE is happening. Am I wrong? Or is this just a weird situation? People who are being ABUSE'd have brains too, but they're manipulated. They live in fear. I mean, there's so much more to that too that I'm not mentioning because we don't need to get too deep into that. But like, you know, get it together, Amber. Get it together. That's a weird take.
Though I guess as we've established, some people don't have brains, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, she was messaging people, commenting on people's stuff. We've all seen it where someone leaves and all of a sudden they comment on people's stuff and they're messaging and they're doing the thing. And so people had complained, and so he handled it. And I say handled it. So now I'm going to share that because I feel like some of you heard me say where he said he was the king of this shit. Maybe you thought I was being dramatic about that. So I'm just going to go ahead and play it. And I want to be clear here. That entire company was primarily built on leaders from other company. There were very few top leaders that did not come there from another company. And that was, I always, again, I sounded the alarm. Like if the only people running through ranks came from another company, where is their organic growth?
100%. And I think that's one of the ultimate reasons that Modere failed, because people couldn't start from the bottom and get to the top. They love to pull people from other companies and do bridge contracts, which essentially is, hey, come to our company, we'll pay you X amount of money and you'll have this amount of time to help boost you up to the top. She'll explain it a little bit more from what I remember.
And I asked that numerous times to no avail, but that's how everything was built. Now, I came from another company. However, I signed one big leader from another company that we were friends through the adoption community, and then another one that was referred to me who just aligned with me. But my entire organization beyond that was incredibly organic, or people I'd worked with in the past. But even then, I still had a history in the industry. And so like blowing through ranks, while sure it was fun, should not have been impressive. I said I did it the fastest of anyone. But again, I didn't come there with nothing. I mean, I came with a much smaller team than I built there, but that's irrelevant. Anyway, but he's not the only one. There's a reason why there were bridge contracts. They called them high performance agreements, I think. High income, I don't know, something like that. And then there's another leader that's been talked about that had left Modere before I did, that he had a blueprint of how to bring in leaders from other companies. So I don't think this is like brand new information, but
you think that was like Michael Rutherford or something? Justin Prince? Curious. I wonder if Justin Prince has been doing that too, grabbing people from other companies to join Make Wellness. Just a thought. Just a thought.
I do want to share it. So that is the backstory on this clip, is that she was messaging his people who were happy and she should build on her own network. Meanwhile, I have tons of messages from people who are like, yeah, he's been in my inbox, randomly starting up a conversation, and then trickling it in because he's smooth. And again, he didn't do that to me. That was done to me by someone else. But my whole point here is if you're going to build a company and these are the practices you're building in, and I just think you should know who you're getting into bed with. I think that it's hypocritical to tell people to only message people who are unhappy in their companies when clearly that has not been the case. Like, it's very easy for someone to get into your inbox and create doubt in the company that you're in, and that is exactly what has happened. So anyway, take this one for what it's worth. Someone messaged me with a request about this one specifically, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share it.
And I don't want drama. I don't want the negativity. I don't want to deal with this shit. I don't want people inboxing me, telling me that they're like kind of like freaked out that all of a sudden you're like messaging them and you're commenting on their posts and you've never done that before, like after you're leaving. Like it's just really strange. It's a turnoff. And, you know, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but like, I'm the king of this shit. Like, I've been bringing people over from other companies for years. Like, nobody has recruited more leaders from other companies than me. Nobody.
Oh, John. So it's okay when you do it, but you don't like when someone else is doing it to your team? Oh, but it's different though, right? When you do it. That is the most ridiculous thing you could have said. I don't know why you thought that was a good thing to say. And also that you're the king of it. Good God, John, get your head out of your ass, my guy. This is hypocrisy at its finest. You are saying, what you're doing is wrong. I'm the king of it. I'm the best at it. And I don't want you to do it to my team. Well, karma's a bit of a bitch, isn't it, John?
There's not one person in the industry that has recruited more high caliber leaders than me. So it's like, it's very obvious what you're doing and it's not effective. So just don't do it. It's weird. I'm trying to help you.
He's like, you suck at it. So I wouldn't do it. I'm great at it though, so I can do it. Oh my gosh. It's fucking tea. She only posted that part, but I'm not sure who made this story, but it says, like, she's screenshotted and reposting it. Instead of talking about Modere and Modere, ex-leaders go heal, hurt people, read that again, it's giving I'm bothered. She said, it's giving I'm bothered and brainwashed. And then she continues in the next one. Why do we hide behind this whole hurt people bullshit when someone shows up with proof and receipts, but you just don't like what the facts say? Weird, it's giving culty vibes. Amber, you better be careful, babe. You better be careful because you're a part of that cult. I want you to know. It's funny that you're saying this because your hypocrisy is now showing. Listen, you got a point with John Melton, but you better be careful. All right? She says, I still have a lot of questions about a lot of stuff, but anything I left out that you're dying to know? She said, I don't promise to answer them all and I won't use names. I'll be choosy. If you're watching Girl World right now, Choosey's so intense. So she's a part of Frequence. Is her MLM. I said it wasn't relevant, but now after she posts that, I feel like it is relevant to know. Okay, here's some of the questions. First one, are the other leaders as manipulative as John Melton, or are they trying to keep the money train going? She said there are a couple that I genuinely love and think they're doing what they think is best, but majority of them, this is a business for them no matter what they portray. Next one said, I had no idea about all the tea, but now I'm invested. She said, I swear I planned to be the bigger person when this all started, but once I saw their plans, it felt like people needed to know. And now I probably look like the drama, but it's fine. Person commented, more of an observation. I thought it was weird firing Asma and she owned the patent. Amber said, I think there is more to this and more to this story, to be honest, but they let the field believe she was fired and leaders ran with that and talked a lot about how they thought Nate was the next coming for the company and that she mismanaged. Interesting to see some of those people land with her now. I will say she left after me, but had she left before me, I would have been looking for a new company because I have a lot of love for her and how she led. That's where we're at. That's what's going on. And John Melton is everything we knew him to be. Okay? He is everything we knew him to be. And I'm excited to see how all of this unfolds. I'm excited to see John Melton talk more about the company. I hope this idea of exposing him keeps chucking along. I hope that people keep talking about him because I know there's so much under that rug. People just gotta lift it up and let us see. Or so much behind the curtain. People just gotta open it and let us see. And I cannot wait for that. I'm so pumped. Anyway, let me know your thoughts below. Don't forget there's that live. I will try to hook it on to the end of this video somehow, whether it's up at the top or you can just click it, or it's one of the videos at the very end that pop up after my video here ends. Go watch it. There is so much information in there that I think is pretty important to understanding the concept of what's going on with Modere and John Melton and just everything in general. So thank you again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Show you what I'm all about. Make up for what we lost. Tonight is the night that we about what has been. I only care about yours.